Hi. Okay.
So this is our May education event, and we are here from Corazon Holistic Health. I'm Melanie,
I'm Kim.
and we're going to talk about mental health awareness today.
We are. What a great subject. So much to talk about.
It's also very, very big.
It's a very big subject.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this last night and I thought, what do we want to talk about? And I thought, let's start with what mental health is and what it isn't, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
start by talking about that because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what mental health is, right? And does it mean that every person so let's say you get diagnosed with depression.
Yeah.
Does that mean you have a mental health issue for the rest of your life?
Not necessarily that can go in remission.
That's right.
Just like health issues go in remission. Like you can have an acute cold or you can have a chronic illness. Like mental health is the same way.
That's right. And I think that's a big misconception that people have.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
My question then is also, does everybody who comes to a mental health like practitioner actually have a diagnosis?
No.
Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting because insurance companies, in order to pay for it, will require the clinician to give a diagnosis. Otherwise, why are you seeing a practitioner? But it's kind of like that preventative health piece,
Correct.
right? So
Like I'm not
maybe
going
I'm
to my
going to a hard
doctor every
time.
year necessarily because something is wrong. I'm making sure
That's
something
right.
doesn't go wrong.
That's right. And I'm doing right. So maybe I'm having a hard time in life. I've had a loss or something like that. And I just need to process. I need someone to help me kind of work through those emotions. That doesn't mean I have a mental health issue. So typically, a clinician might put an adjustment disorder for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually a less than 6 month diagnosis. But this is where the insurance versus the medical field is really, really tricky because in order for people to get coverage, they want a diagnostic code. And I don't always want to give a diagnostic code because
Mm-hmm.
people get very attached to that. If I say this is your diagnosis, then people it means something. It has
Well, and
weight.
sometimes it gets taken on as like this is who I am.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Mm,
no, I
no.
don't know that that's actually like true.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the idea of like coming in, the two things popped up. One, it makes me believe that there actually should be a different model for mental health. Like I don't think that we actually fit well into the medical
I
model
agree.
because of that, because mental health is something that is lifelong. Mental health actually means more about your mental well-being and how you are functioning in all aspects of life.
That's right.
It's helping you navigate these things more than it is this acute or chronic crisis
Right.
that's happening that requires like special attention like right this minute.
That's right.
Like I have a person who came in, for instance, that had finished like DBT.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what are your goals? And she literally just said, I just want to make sure things don't get bad again.
Right.
Cool. Like, and if you
Maintenance.
look at her, like, she's fine. There's
That's
so
right.
many things that are absolutely like fine that are going on. Now, are we working on some like harder stuff because there's like deeper stuff?
Sure.
Sure. Absolutely. And at the same time, like if that's not something she would be ready to work on, she would probably function in life just fine.
Right. Yes, and that leads me to these two ideas of post traumatic stress disorder. So,
Mm.
if you experience a life event, we tend to think about that as being abuse, but it also happens in you have a car accident, there's a natural disaster. There are
Mm-hmm.
other ways that post traumatic stress shows up in people's lives. The thing that we don't talk about very often is post traumatic growth. Everyone who
Mm-hmm.
has a major event like that is going to experience post traumatic stress. Now, we didn't add the D because it doesn't become post traumatic stress disorder for everyone,
Correct.
right?
It doesn't.
So, what makes the difference? How do we know if it's going to become that? Well, the research shows that that is based on the support that they get
Mm-hmm.
and how they're able to work through that. So, post traumatic growth is something where you see people who've had a really traumatic event happen and they turn that into a positive life base, right?
Yeah.
So, I often say John Walsh.
That's a good example.
He's a great example
Yeah.
because here's
Well,
someone who
he
lost a
poured me over that
child.
mess.
Yes, him and his wife got divorced. They got remarried and had, I think, three more children. But he also created America's Most Wanted. He took the loss of a child in a very traumatic way
Yeah.
and turned that into something that helped millions of people. Missing and exploited children, that has changed so many laws. It has changed the way that we respond to a missing child. Like the good that he did that came from this, he'll never forget Adam. That's never going to be a thing.
No.
Right. But at the end of the day, he's what I think of when I think of post-traumatic growth.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It also makes me think of, I'm going to mess up this piece, but I remember it was Hillary Clinton, I think, like talking about her speaking with a couple of different people, and she had talked to like Vladimir Putin, and she talked about like somebody else, but she was talking about how people like use that information and how it changes their worldview.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. And one of the worldviews had to do with like, I saw all these terrible things happen,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to make sure that like I punish everybody that I believe like contributed to these things or could contribute to these things. And it's like, ooh, okay, that's scary. And then this other person like had very similar things happen and said, I'm going to make sure that that never happens to anybody else.
Right.
And it's like, that is so interesting. But that also makes me think of like what post-traumatic stress disorder looks like and how it looks like two very different things.
Right.
And like you had said, event, which also I think is a nuance that we have to think about as well.
No, you're right.
Because trauma is complex most of the time. Most people do not have a single incident trauma.
Right.
Like that's unusual.
That's right. That's the exception.
Most of the time something happens and then all of these other things happen that then contribute and reinforce like these other pieces of like, I'm not safe or whatever else like is going on in the body, which that's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, that is not a formal diagnosis. It should be.
Right.
DSM, are you listening? Are you listening?
Take a note.
Take note. But that is like a part of that as well.
Yeah. So one of the things we were going to talk about today was what kind of led us into this.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, it makes me think about that worldview that you were just saying. Yeah. Right. So for me, my worldview, I have a trauma background, and I guess along the way, I made choices that I believe that people can heal.
Yes.
Right. And I believe that I'm probably an example of post-traumatic growth.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I would say,
a little teary.
And so I would say that I chose to give back.
Yeah.
Right. I really believe in what we do. I believe that people can heal. Mm-hmm. I believe that people need a space to feel safe. And that's something we've talked about from the beginning, creating the safe space.
Yes.
Right. And that's something that we've done as for our community, whether they're coming to yoga, coming to therapy, coming for a group, coming for a workshop. Mm-hmm. This is a safe space.
Yeah.
And we've really worked hard to cultivate that. It doesn't look like a therapeutic office, right? In the way that you think about it. Right. And I've had kids say to me, because we have plants coming down these broken down, brick walls. And for me, that always represented like something can be old and cracked and beautiful and still have new growth in life.
One of my favorite kiddos that I work with, and I've had her on and off like for a really long time, came in my office, and it's when I had an upstairs office. And I made the decision to fill all of these little cracks and crevices with little crystals and things. So there would be like these little nuggets of like treasure everywhere.
That's
right. And she goes, and she came in and she was one of those kids. She was like, this building looks creepy. I bet it's haunted in here.
It's old. The building's falling apart.
And I was like, is it?
Because the adults are like, we love this space. The kids are like,
Absolutely.
you got a whole building.
Yeah. Don't you put some plaster on that? And she goes, she got real serious. And she like, this is like her first session with me too.
Yeah.
Maybe second session. She looks and she goes, is that a crystal in your wall? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Why do you do that? I don't know. Why do you think I do it? I met with this kid for an hour and a half at this point, and she looks at me and says, I bet you think that sometimes stuff on the outside looks really ugly, but on the inside it can be really beautiful. It's like, yes,
girl.
Yes. And I'm also really glad that like that is what you got from me in this last hour.
There you go. There you go.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Because I came into the field for a very similar reason.
Yeah.
Which was like I also have a trauma history as well. And I just remember thinking, even as a kid, like I thought this, like, I don't want anybody to feel this alone.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel like this ever. This feels bad.
Right.
This feels bad in my little body. It feels bad in my adult body. Like,
Right.
it does not feel good. And if I can be just a tiny little bright spot
Right.
for all of these other people, that would be good enough. And I'd probably met the goal that I wanted to do.
Right.
And I think for me, it was because like I looked back and there were so many things that like happened that were bad and that were objectively not okay.
Right.
But I also remember so many people like in my life that were these little, there were those little bright spots.
That's
like
right.
That's what helped that resiliency, because if we're talking about post-traumatic growth, that's also required for that.
That's right.
Like you need that. You need to be able to see people who actually give a crap about you and don't want you to be hurt.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's for me, like what I did.
And they may not be able to change your life.
No, none of these people like changed it dramatically.
That's exactly right. They hadn't have the power to change my life, but they had the power to show up unconditionally in ways that mattered for me and help me understand that there were safe places in the world, even if I didn't feel safe in the moment.
Right. And if we're actually talking about mental health, that's a part of mental health.
It is.
That part of mental health that's really, really important is it is not just you individually like white knuckling through things. It is not you it is not you going and taking a medication that then makes all your dreams come true. It is not.
They have that.
I wish, girl, please. Like I always say though, if oxytocin could be like vaporized into the air, that's what I would have in everybody's duct system.
That's right. That's right.
Like everyone would feel connected and really good. Here's some oxytocin for you.
Have some for you and some for you.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't, that sounds dystopian in some way. Like let's not do that. But
yeah, I think that is, it is so complex, mental health, and not everything has to be fixed, but what we do want to understand is how to help everyone feel okay in their bodies, right? You don't have to be like your neighbor. You don't have to be like the person across the street, but how do we feel okay with who we are, have good self-confidence, have good self-esteem, because that's going to make a difference in how you show up in the world, your ability to be successful with daily life things, let alone a career or a family.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of people who've had trauma who think, okay, I've dealt with that. Logically, I know what happened and I know it was wrong.
Yeah.
So why do I still feel this way? Yeah. And then they have children and they're like, I want to do it different, but now I've got to deal with the stuff that I clearly didn't deal with, right? Because now it's really showing up. And it's showing up in a way. It's like that saying, you have these moments where you're like, oh, that sounded like my mom, or that sounded like my dad, or that sounded like, my Aunt Sally, or whatever, right?
Yeah, we've all been there.
And that's the stuff that we haven't, you fall into patterns that you think you're not going to, but you do, because it's what you've learned.
Yeah.
Right. So we see a lot of parents that are like, I want to do it different, but now I've already got kids and I've got to deal with my stuff and they got to deal with my stuff. And what does that look like? We see a lot of families in that way, but there is healing that can come from all of that, because I love, you always say, the book, Good Enough Parenting.
Yes.
I love
good
that.
Good enough
parenting. It's not about perfection. And if that's what you're going for, that in and of itself is something you should work on, because that's not a thing.
Yeah.
And our society in America sees a lot of anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
And we have more people on antidepressants than anywhere else. So
what do you think that is?
Oh, I got lots of reasons that I think that is.
What's like a top one?
I think it's lack of community.
Ooh, yeah.
I do. I think that there is something about not having enough community connection that can really become very lonely.
Yes.
And feel like you're all alone in this and you're in your head. And I think it really can create a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
Right. And if you feel like you're alone, or you feel embarrassed, or you feel like you can't share because you're weird, or no one's going to understand your problem. And on social media, we see that everybody else looks so perfect and so happy, but we know that's not actually what's happening.
Yeah, I bet we look real polished right now too, like with this lovely background and stuff like that. This is not how this always looks for us.
That's right. That's right.
This is curated.
Yeah. And I've had clients come in and say to me, well, you look really put together. I don't know if we're going to relate. And I'm like, well,
that's adorable.
I know. You're so cute. I'm like, oh, because I could match my outfit today. I mean, I'm from West Virginia. I come from poverty. I scraped and clawed my way to this place in life. And there is nothing about me that is polished or perfect in any way. And nor do I try to do that, right?
No.
That is not, I'm messy.
Well, and mental wellness, like to me, it like not just health is like that 80-20 good enough kind of thing.
That's right.
If it's good enough for hamburger, it's good enough for me.
That's right.
Like 80% of the time I want to show up and do all of these things like really, really well to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
And be okay with it 20% of the time when I mess it up royally.
We all do.
Or I'm like, yeah, there's egg on my face in that particular situation or whatever.
But I think the difference is we feel comfortable enough in who we are and in ourselves to own that.
Oh, for sure.
But
that's also shame of wellness.
That's exactly right. That's a part of wellness.
Accountability.
Shame is a big part of what we see and deal with all the time, right?
You know what's interesting? We keep bringing up words like loneliness and shame, and there is no such diagnosis that says like loneliness disorder or shame disorder,
right?
But
it kills more people than anything else.
Oh, for sure. But loneliness and shame are a part of most of the disorders that we identify. So I think you're spot on when you're talking about like community being that part.
Yeah.
And I would go further and say that the reason why we have so much anxiety and depression in our country is about that pressure that we want to put on ourselves. Because you said something about social media, like that's pressure. Like this is what like parenting should look like. This is what my home should look like. This is what the dinners that I cook should look like. This is what my organization should look like. This is what my outfit every day when I go to work should look like. This is the kind of therapist I'm supposed to be, because of those of you over here who are also therapists, I know you all like follow therapy TikTok. Let's be clear. There's a couple of people where I'm like, well, that lady is not me in any way, shape, or form. Nope. Like, I like the ones that are like unhinged shit I said to my client this week. And I'm like, that feels more like me. Because this polished nonsense, like, I'm not that I'm not that person.
I know, right?
And I also think if I did that, my clients would be like, girl, are you okay?
What's wrong with you right now?
Like, what is happening? What is that weird response?
It is. There are times I walk away and go, did I just say that?
Why did I say that?
Just say that.
Oh gosh. Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've come out of session and I'm like, so I might have said this to a client. Do we think that's therapeutic? Is that okay?
Yeah. But it is, I think, what makes us relatable.
Agree.
Because it's not about perfection, although I would argue that you do a phenomenal job. So
I think we both do. We are very competent and capable.
We are very competent. And yet I would say our being real is what really, I think, well, we know the number one thing that makes a difference in treatment is rapport.
It is.
Right?
And your relationship with your therapist. If you believe that the person you are working with likes you and wants what's best for you, and you feel connected to them, then you're probably going to make long-term change.
That's right.
Tell my $100,000 education that.
I know, right?
Just so you know.
Right? Because, and I would say to you that I think a lot of the therapists that I think are good therapists are people that before having the licensure were people that people trusted.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Getting the degree didn't make you a good therapist.
No, not at all.
Because anybody can get that.
Sure.
You got enough.
I can read a book and I can like spit out some stuff for sure.
Right. That is not what makes a good therapist. And I know this is frustrating for a lot of people. They'll say, well, I don't trust therapists, or I didn't trust this. I don't know where to go, where to start. And I have a lot of people that'll call me in other states that I know and they'll say, help me find someone. And I'll go on Psychology Today because I know what language I'm looking for, the things I'm looking for. So I'll make recommendations off of that. But I think what we see a lot is that this is about trust.
Yeah, it is
right?
About trust.
And so people are nervous because they go and they didn't like this person. Don't give up. Find the person that works for you. And don't settle for someone that you don't trust or you don't feel
that you connect with really
that you connect with, that gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, I don't know. I know for me, like anytime somebody meets me, I say to them, like at the end of the session, like, how did this feel?
Right.
Does this feel like a good fit? Does it feel like I'm someone that you would actually want to have a conversation with about hard stuff? Or about what it is that like you want to come in for. Because if I'm not, I want to help you find somebody that is.
Right.
Like
that's what I say
that's
too.
That's far more important
and that's
to
okay.
me.
We'll help you find the right connection.
Yes. Because Melanie Peebles is not for everybody. And that is absolutely like fine.
Yeah.
Do you know how many therapists I've gone through before figuring out like this is the person that I actually need to
connect to.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So I love that saying, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's shot of whiskey. That's probably that's probably one. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's shot of whiskey. So
yes.
Mhm.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if those are the things that like we think mental health are, what is
Mhm.
mental illness? Like what is that?
Mhm.
What does that mean?
I love that you made that distinction.
Yeah, there's two different things.
There are two different things. So mental illness for me looks more like long and persistent mental illness, right? So
Yes.
now we're talking about, and it doesn't mean that they can't be managed or dealt with, but we are talking about things like schizophrenia,
Yes.
personality disorders, which are overdiagnosed for borderline, but underdiagnosed for other things more often, histrionic, narcissistic, things like that. But an antisocial personality disorder,
Yeah.
it does exist, and people think of serial killers, but actually it's a lot of CEOs, it's a lot of people who are in power positions, because it doesn't always show up as them having a thing for killing people. It has to do with lack of empathy and how the rules don't apply to them. And that's probably what makes them very successful. So it's not always negative either in the sense of them being successful. So I think there's just a lot of real misconceptions about what these things look like.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I think about those types of things, there's psychosis that comes into play. There's other components, but those are what I think of as real consistent mental illness type things. That's where my brain goes when I think about mental illness.
My brain also goes to, like, if I think of mental illness, that is the time when I do think that there needs to be a diagnosis. Like there's something going on. There is something that is making it so I can't function in this like world, in whatever world you live in, right? Because I also think that it has a lot more to do with like your functioning than it does like with symptomology. Because it makes me think of substance use disorders, for instance.
Yes.
Like that is, I mean, I have a lot of opinions about substance use disorders. Like I do not necessarily believe that is a mental illness. I often think substance use disorder is actually a symptom of something else.
I agree with that.
But I also worked in the mental in substance use disorder like for 15 years. Like
Right.
It was hard to, never did I ever see the client that only had a substance use disorder. Like that never happened.
Never ever did I see that client.
I never saw them. I also never saw the client that had never had like a trauma history. Like
That's right.
Like that didn't happen. But aside from that, there are so many people who drink like excessively or maybe use substances recreationally and might meet one of those like criteria, right? There's 11 of them, just so y'all know. But does that mean they have a mental illness? No. If it doesn't impact the functioning that you have out there in the world, then no, it is not a mental illness. That's not what that is. It's the same thing of like somebody who may have like a lower level of functioning when it comes to like mood. That's right. Like, would they probably meet like persistent depression? Like, for sure. But do they also have this ability to go and like do these other things? Then it's not mental illness at that point. Like it does not become mental illness until it starts impacting other aspects of your life.
That's right. And it's not to say that major depressive disorder can't meet a mental illness diagnosis, but it's more rare that it does than it wouldn't. I think of one client that I had that went through all the things, right? Yeah. From ketamine treatments to like, this was a chronic and persistent major depressive disorder that found very little relief.
And also treatment resistant.
And that's actually a larger percent of the population with depression than people realize, that only about 30% get real relief from medication. Yep. And so it needs to be a balance. And so that meets the criteria. And this is the tough thing about mental health stuff, is that it depends. It's not that I took a blood test and you're low in iron, right? And so I know what to do about that. This is, I got to, how is it affecting your daily functioning? Yeah. How is it affecting your relationships? How is it affecting your ability to keep a job? How is it affecting these life things, right? And then what measures can we take? And are you able to see relief from that?
Right.
And if not these measures, let's try these measures. And some people just have a chronic, persistent mental illness that is resistant to treatment.
Yeah.
Which
It
tells
is.
me that there's something going on biologically, probably
Yeah.
compounded with life environment,
Right.
things like that, that is not that we don't understand yet and haven't been able to get to.
Yeah, there's so much research that comes out, and there's so many things that we keep learning like all of the time, which I think is wonderful. I'm so glad that that's happening because for so long it's been, I don't know, you seem depressed. Here's the Santa present. Like,
Right.
see if it works. Like,
Right.
ooh, that feels terrible. Oh, we're going to go. I see it. We have a hill
I
that we
do.
want to die on.
So, but I just want to, I kind of want to circle back a little bit because I just finished reading this thing about Switzerland. And so this idea of how community plays a role
Yeah.
in chronic and persistent mental illness.
Yes.
Right? Because like they have fountains everywhere that have drinkable water.
Mhm.
Right? They have flowers and food stuff with no one working it, and it's an honor system. Right? They have these things set up for community
Yeah.
that work in a different way that say, we care about you.
Mhm.
We care about you as a part of our totality.
Meanwhile, you can't go to New York City and find a bathroom unless you're going to buy a $70 sandwich.
That's right. That's right. I can't imagine how that doesn't play, because I think about the client that I was talking about, and a big part of that was loneliness,
Yes.
outside ofness, right? I mean, this,
Yes.
and that plays a huge role. So when I say there's something that we don't know about yet, I think I did know
Mm-hmm.
that it was that piece.
Yeah.
But I can't help cultivate that piece necessarily on my own.
No, it takes all of us to do that.
It does. And we try to create a space here that does that. And people can do that for a while, but then they feel like, okay, so how do I get that outside of here?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's where I think we all have to play a role in creating mental health that is positive for everybody by being inclusive.
Yep.
By providing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So Switzerland has a bunker for 9 million people. For every single person that lives in Switzerland, they have a fallout shelter, and you have an assigned spot.
Oh, we have a designated survivor. Sorry. That's really upsetting.
We do. This is my point, right? So this is my point. And so this is bringing it back to what is a fundamental thing with chronic and persistent mental illness.
Yeah.
And I do think it comes back to that loneliness, to this idea of connection and community.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that.
So when we're talking about this loneliness thing, what are things that either you suggest to other people or you do for yourself that help combat like loneliness? Because we all feel lonely sometimes. Like, sure, that's also like a normal thing. Like sadness isn't depression. Like right? Like loneliness isn't necessarily like a chronic mental illness, but it can become that when it is so pervasive in your life that it does not like seem to go away.
Yeah.
So what do you do, and then what do you suggest to other people?
So because I've only lived here for 7 years or so, and I didn't live in Columbia. I lived out in a community out there, and so it has been more challenging for me. And at this age, I think it has been more challenging for me to make connection and make friendships.
Sure.
And so I created game night once a month.
Yeah.
Right? Having trouble getting people on board. I really encourage people to come once a month to my game night because it's just fun, right?
It is fun.
It's just fun. So, but because in Ohio, what I have is that kind of connection. And I realized over Christmas, I was like, this is what I'm missing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm missing this connection. And it can be hard. We're busy. I have grandkids. People have kids. I mean, you have to really, I'm having dinner with Kim tonight, and it took a month to get this on the books. Right. And typically we book out 3 months to do one night. Yeah. Because she's busy. She has 5 kids. I have grandkids. I mean, it's just hard to get one evening. For sure. But I'm trying to prioritize that.
So it's prioritizing and planning.
It is.
There's a lot of it.
It is. And putting yourself out there.
It's also that. Yeah.
Right. So I could have lots of feels about people not showing up, but I'm not, because people are just busy. So we get a handful of people. I've had different people, and I'm keep going, because eventually I think it's going to build on itself.
Oh, I agree.
So I'm just going to keep doing it, and then people will come. I build it.
If you build it, they'll come.
This is so if I want this community, I have to actually put some effort into it. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of what I decided, because I think that's what I was experiencing. I was feeling very lonely here. Right. Yeah. And lonely doesn't always mean you don't have people around you.
Oh no, that's not what that means.
right? But I show up to work and I'm at work. I'm doing work things and I'm doing work things, right? And I'm doing kid things and I'm looking for connection for me personally, which I have in lots of ways. You, Sophia, my friends in Ohio, but it's hard to make the time to do it outside of here where you can relax and kick your feet up and just
Yeah,
have a nonchalant conversation,
for sure.
right? That's what I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of identify that because it's not that I don't have people around me,
Right.
right? But how am I connected?
Mm-hmm.
I can call Janine and talk on the phone for 3 hours, but I want to hang out and have beer and chit chat and laugh about dumb shit.
Yeah.
I really want to laugh. So I think laughter's huge.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
laughter's huge.
Finding those people that you can have levity with.
Yes. Listen, it is the best mental health there is. Let's
Agreed.
laugh at some dumb shit.
Agreed. And laugh at some bad shit. Like
Yeah.
even the stuff that's like,
That's right.
wow, that's a sad state of the world. Like here we are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's too big.
It is.
So for me, like I'm so type A. I'm realizing this over and over again, like all the time. No, I mean I know it like all the time, but sometimes it like hits me in the face.
Yeah.
And as you were talking, I was like, I do not do well if it is not scheduled for me.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'm not going to do it. So for instance, like my family and I did a really good job last year with family dinner once a month. But that is because my sister-in-law and I literally sat. Shout out Lauren. Literally half hungover, sleep deprived on January 1st of 2025 in my kitchen at the breakfast bar, being like, okay, we're doing this family dinner thing.
That's right.
We're all going to host. What are we going to do? And we sat down and for the entire year made the dates. This year we didn't do that. Do you know how many family dinners we've had this year?
2. 0.
And because we had a few scheduled, but then there was like these weird snow events or whatever. Mm-hmm. Who knows? South Carolina had a snow event. I have so many thoughts about that. But so it hasn't happened. So I know what I'm going to be doing because we're all going to the beach here soon. Okay. I'm literally going to corner Lauren because it clearly is up to us. We're going to do the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And schedule these dang things. And then I will be the person who sends out the email and things of that nature. But I do that scheduling like with my friends, like as well, right? Like Casey, hey Casey, how are you? I also have to schedule time because we're both therapists. So we're busy. We both have families. So we're busy in that situation. There's so many things that can absolutely get in the way. So if I don't carve out that time, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Right. And I know that that's like something really important. So for me, I know that like that scheduling part is the thing. Because if I put it on a calendar, I will do it.
Yep.
If you put something on my calendar, I'm going to do it. Sophia can absolutely like attest to this, even at work. Because like she knows I'm not going to do something if she has not put it on my calendar.
I'm like, Sophia, is it on my calendar? Because I
emailed you about it.
I don't even know
what you're talking about. I can't even remember us having this conversation.
Yeah.
It's such a bad part of like my poor executive function.
Yeah.
So that's what I need for like my own mental wellness is I need those things like scheduled to help for like loneliness and things of that nature. I also do things, and I know this is really silly, but I tell people to do this all the time, which is to carve out that time of when you're texting certain people, right? Give yourself the reminder to do it.
Yeah.
It sounds like, oh, but I don't want to treat people like a task. You're not. You're treating the texting as the task, not the person.
You're prioritizing the person to make sure that you are reaching out. On my way to work every morning, I send out emails and texts, or not emails.
Girl, don't I know it.
On the way to work, this is what I'm doing, right? This is my time when no one's bothering me for me to make the phone call, reach out, say how you doing, or on my way home.
I do it on my way home a lot. I almost always, well, except on Tuesdays, because Tuesday is my busiest day. I don't want to talk to anybody after Tuesdays. But on all the other days, I tend to call someone on my way home. So because I have a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
That's such a good time to like check in. And I can be like, hey girl, what you doing?
That's right.
How is this going? Like whatever like that thing is. And that's very helpful to me.
Yeah, it is. I think that this idea that things should always happen organically,
oh God,
right? it's kind
Yeah,
of
if
a
we were
misnomer.
free range people,
Right. It's kind of a misnomer. Again, if we lived in communities where you were out and walking around and seeing your neighbors and stopping and talking when they're sitting on their porch, yeah, maybe that happened at a time. But you have to create that organicness now. The other thing is, I think that, I'll plan something and then right before I'm like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go. I'm always glad I went.
always.
And I think a lot of people experience this, right?
And if
Like,
it's on my schedule, I won't cancel.
right. I have to be pretty bad off.
Oh yeah, the only like game night, like I'd completely forgotten about it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it, and I was getting ready to do all the things, and then my husband ends up with 103-degree fever,
Right.
and I was like, I legitimately cannot do this
for sure.
My husband, who never gets sick,
Right,
has a high fever.
It's a very high fever.
Yeah, right. I was like,
yeah,
because we had planned that he was going to come, he's going to pick up the bird and pick up the kid.
Right.
Don't even ask about the bird. It's fine.
Oh, she brought the bird today.
No. She's downstairs and she's squawking because she's pretty sure that I don't feed her often enough. She's incorrect. She's fed so much.
I showed everybody at my house a picture of you on our meeting the other day with the bird. And here's Mother Nature.
I was living my Disney princess dreams.
You were. That's so cute.
Just so everybody knows, so for a little bit of context, we found a bird. It was a fledgling. No one wanted to take it in the area because apparently, again, community doesn't always happen. And I've had this moral dilemma of I have offered this thing sanctuary. So what do I do now? And I was like, well, I guess I'm a bird mom now for
a bird mom for
the last 21 days. And then the bird is going to go fly and go do bird things.
Yeah.
Go do bird things.
But right now it sits on her finger.
Well, and typing
and it'll look into the camera as we're in a meeting, and it'll just watch us all. It just wants to be a part of what's going on.
She just wants to be included.
She does.
Right? Inclusion, because that's important for us to feel better.
Connection.
She does want connection, even as a bird.
Even as a bird. She's right. And you said you took her outside and she heard all the chirping. She was like, those are my people.
And I could tell when she noticed that it was another blue jay because her head would cock in a certain way. And she would be looking and she's like, oh my gosh, that sounds like me. That's me. Those are my, like, it's us, right? When we see our people out in the wild, right? Where I don't know, like I see somebody and they have like a really cool outfit on. Like, I'm that girl. I'm a girl's girl. I'm going to be like, your boots are amazing and you're wearing it.
That's right.
Right. Like, because then I want to be friends with that person. Yeah. Or at a restaurant, I'm absolutely, if I'm sitting at the bar and I see you drinking or eating something that looks interesting, I'm going to ask you about it.
I know.
And my husband's like, what are you doing? Making friends with random people. That's what I'm doing.
That's right. I'm connecting.
What are you doing?
That's what we do. That's right. So mental illness is complicated.
It is complicated.
And it is not just about coming to see someone like Melanie and I. I mean, that can be a part of the equation.
Sure.
But mental health happens in the wild. Mm-hmm. Right?
It's all the stuff that you guys do out there. Even like the clients that we have, they will tell you, yes, like I am a useful part of that equation, but ultimately, like if they aren't doing it out there, it doesn't really matter like what I do. It still is about what I'm doing individually for my own mental health and wellness. And yes, creating that community around me that helps with all of those things. But it is the stuff that happens out there, like in the street. Like, who do I say hi to? Who do I choose to connect with? Where do I choose to like spend my energy? What am I going to do?
Right.
Who am I going to connect with today?
That's right. Yeah. So I think that we all play a role in everyone's mental health. And
we do.
It is important. And I know it's not always comfortable to speak to the stranger next to you, and that's okay. But where are your people, right? Yeah. Find your game night. Find your community, if at the bookstore or, I don't know, shopping, whatever it is, right? Restaurants. I mean, find your community. The Art Center has tons of free stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We always encourage people. They get grants for stuff, and they have mahjong. They have painting classes.
That sounds fun. I want to do that.
I know my mom really wanted to go, but they only had to plan for May. I told her to call because it's not always on there, like outside of the month they're in. They had
okay, well, tell Mary Catherine she can call me and I'll go.
Okay, she really wants to play mahjong. And she plays at home with all her friends. She's taught everybody to play mahjong.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So my point is that there is stuff out there and there's free stuff out there. You just got to find your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And your people. And whether that's a walking group, whether that's,
mom's
game night.
I've had so many people who have done like mom's groups.
Yeah.
And I have a very specific client that I'm thinking of like right now. She has done like I am so impressed and in awe at her capacity to like go and put herself in these like mom situations when I know what she's dealing with, like in my office.
Mhm.
And she goes and she does this, and she's like, does she think everyone in these moms groups is going to be her best friend? No, absolutely not.
Right.
But like, are there one or two people? And she's like, that's my girl right
That's my
there.
person.
That
Yeah.
one right there, she gets it.
Yeah.
Right. This is
Yeah.
a person I can connect with.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I see it on her. She feels less lonely.
Yeah.
She feels like she can make all of these hard choices that she's having to make recently and do it with other people instead of by herself.
That's right.
Or with only one person, because
Yeah.
it's a safety net, not a safety string.
That's right. That's right. I think about, where did you meet some of your best friends?
Work, college, literally, this woman that I'm making friends with, I'm emerging in a friendship, is a woman that literally hears about me because my husband talks about me all of the time. And Nadia is like,
Oh, Jamie.
I'm pretty sure I want to be friends with your wife.
She sounds amazing.
She sounds great. And now we text,
I
and
love that.
we're going to try and go to a workout group together. She was like, oh, she likes to do this. Like, she might like my Zumba class. I don't know if I will. I don't care. I'll go. Like,
That's right.
try
Right.
to be fun. And she's going to come to our house for dinner and like
Nice.
all of these things because she's brand new to the area and she moved here and is like, I don't know anybody.
That's so hard. Yeah.
So one of them, I didn't reach out. Like,
Right.
it was my husband apparently talking about how great I am.
I love that. I love that. Of course he did. Yeah. I mean, Janine and I met in 7th grade math, and yeah, and Christina and I met.
The trauma that was seventh
Yes.
grade math.
And my 7th grade math teacher went on to do pancake commercials for IHOP. I just want to say randomly. And I think Janine got a better grade in that class than me. So I did not do well. So then Christina and I met skating rink and middle school.
Love
like
that.
in 8th grade.
Love that.
Right. And then work situations, some cousin family situations, some family stuff, they end up being your friend too, not just your
They do.
relative,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like my sister.
I was here to say Lauren for you.
Yeah, Lauren is absolutely like the greatest thing that's ever happened to us. It was very important, and Brian knows this. Like, I was like, honey, I need you. Like, I'm an only child. You have to make this good for me. Like, when you marry, she needs to be amazing.
To marry for me.
Yeah, I need you to do this for me. He takes direction really well.
He does. Clearly he does.
And he gave me Lauren, and I'm eternally grateful.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. So, when we're growing up, we're in school a lot. When we're adults, we're at work a lot.
There's also like proxy like relationships now that you said that, like, because through Lauren, she has like this group of friends, and there's one very specific one who absolutely is my person as well.
So that's my friend Tree.
Is my other
Janine.
Kathy. Yeah. Two Casey's.
Yeah. Okay, that's not confusing.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
They also both have therapy degrees. One's a working therapist, one isn't. But like, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I made some friends living at the lake because, it's a particular lifestyle. And so I met some friends there. But yeah, I mean, in proximity does matter as we get older, because making friends as we get older is difficult. So finding things that you like and connecting with that, you're more likely to find some people that you connect with too. Mm-hmm. And it's, you're at work with people, you get to know them differently, right? You were at school with people, you got to know them differently. Right. There's a social component, there's a work component. So I think all of those things.
Well, and hobbies, like that's another one too. I'm pretty sure that you can make any hobby social.
Well, and like Lori, I met Lori we moved into this building.
Yeah.
Right. And she had the downstairs and her husband and her own Lula Drake. And through osmosis, through being in the same building, again, proximity.
Right.
Right. And she's
and it helps that they're lovely.
Lovely. Lovely. She's one of the funniest women. You're so funny, Lori. So yeah, I mean, we find people in random places, but we also have to cultivate those relationships.
Yeah, we do.
Right. So we wouldn't continue to be friends if we didn't make some effort to do that in some way. Right. So it does take some commitment. Even on the days you're like, I do not want to get off this couch. I can't believe I committed to this. And then you go and you're like, oh, that's why I committed, because they are fabulous.
Because I love these people.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So mental health is complex and it's diverse, and it doesn't always look the way you might think. I think a lot of people think that it's the person who is untreated, living on the street with schizophrenia. I think that's the image that people have.
Oh, yeah. And that is so not.
mental health looks different in different ways for different people. And not every diagnosis is a forever diagnosis or means that you're broken in some way. None of it means that. It is about understanding education and how you can then find community and live your best life.
Yeah. Finding connection.
That's right.
This is all about connection.
That's right. So for Mental Health Awareness Month, the message that I want to send is that I really encourage everyone to reach out to someone, to say hi to the person sitting next to you in the restaurant, to strike up a conversation, to give someone a smile if you don't want to talk. Just think about the people around you and how to create community. That would help everyone with mental health.
Agreed. Make more eye contact. Say hi to people.
Yeah.
Call your mother.
Call your mom.
Or your surrogate.
That's right. It's either the family of origin or the family you chose. That's okay either way.
That's right. Those are both great options.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us. Go have a great mental health month.
Yeah. Be well.